Alright, thanks for clicking on the video, guys. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to be showing you my newest project. I'm just going to be introducing you to her. I was trying to make a video of what I was about to do. I'm about to prep it and sand it and blast it and get it ready for some paint. But I figured I'd just make a separate video showing you guys the car, introducing you to the car. So, last week, I bought a 1964 Chevy Corvair. Now, this is where I'm just making a separate video because I want to talk about it a little. I grew up with one of these in my father's garage. It was a convertible, and it was my grandfather's. He passed it on to my dad. My dad had it, and it was kind of always a project car that was in shambles in the garage. It never really got worked on. It just sat because my dad's a busy man. He always had a lot going on. He always had other projects going on, house remodels, doing my brother's car, helping me with my truck, and he just never was able to get to his Corvair. But my old man and my grandfather talked about these cars all the time growing up. So that naturally just brought an interest to these for me. And about a year ago, I found one. It was, I think it was like a 62 or a 63, and it was like pearl white. It was all there, running. The only things I didn't like about it, scratching at the mic real quick, sorry. The inside was like 5 different shades of colors. It was like teal, blue, green, tan. It had a 2-speed power glide automatic transmission, and I wanted to find a manual transmission one. So I declined and did not get the pearl white one. And then I kind of just looked over this past year, kept looking and looking. And I think I kind of perked my dad's interest because he started looking for some again as well. The convertible that sat in the garage as I was growing up was a manual. And my dad wanted to find an automatic one that my mom could also drive on the weekends if she wanted to. So he finally found one, and he's been wheeling and dealing with this lady trying to get it for a while, but there's some issues. Anyways, he ended up finding a same year, I can't remember what year his blue one is, but he found a donor convertible with a good top on it to complete that blue one that sat in the garage for years. He found a donor for that one, so he has parts for his original one. And he just continued to keep looking at Corvairs. Well, he found this one for me. He found it, I was in Maryland. I was taking a class for work, and he sent me the link to this, and this is exactly what I've been looking for. So I've been looking for a running project that is mostly all there, that just needs to be finished. It needs to be gone through and finished. So there is a lot of surface rust on this car, which we'll get to in a minute, but he found it. He sent me the link. I messaged the guy before I got on the plane, set up a time to come the very next day. It's like a 2-hour drive away. And me and my old man went down there with the trailer, picked it up. We went down the next day. I purchased it, and then we went back 2 days later with the trailer to pick it up. So it just happened like that. This was, as soon as he sent it to me, for the price, for what was there, what was going on with it, it was exactly what I wanted. Now, I've been wanting a project, something that, unlike the other newer vehicles that I have, I can't, if you see it, but the Subaru, the truck, those projects, those are like little projects here and there that I do on my other cars. But those are cars that I daily drive, and those projects usually, like the suspension that I just did, I needed to do that and get it done because I use that to commute to Seattle. That's something that I need almost every day. This is a project that it's not going to be a daily driver. It's not going to be something that I need to get on the street all the time. So it's something that I could work on, take apart, do stuff with, and still not need it. It's a project. something that needs to be gone through. How do I say that? I've been wanting a project car that I can fully go through, that needs full restoration. And that's just what I want to do. That I want to practice. I want to get into something that I could fully restore. I wanted something classic, a classic car. These are very different from the usual. Um, they're kind of known as America's failed attempt at a European car, and that is because they have a rear engine, air cooled design. These are a flat six air cooled engine. So no radiator fluid, just power sucking the air into it. I just find them real interesting. So the front, of course, engine's in the rear, so that means there is a trunk in the front. And in my opinion, this is an amazing trunk. Look at all that room in there, boys. um, I've seen a few of these bagged, and they are sexy. Now, am I going to be bagging it? No guarantees. Am I going to be lowering it? Definitely. So if you look up just lowered 64 Corvairs, these things look so freaking good. So good for a classic car. And it's probably the most, I don't want to say the most, but they're relatively cheap to get into the classic car scene. You can find these anywhere from, like, this condition, anywhere from 1,500 up to 4,000, and that is really cheap to get into the classic car game. So being that my old man and my grandfather and just the family had ties with the Corvairs, it got me interested in it. The biggest thing to look for in these, I'll walk you through a little more of it. They're really known for, I mean, it's a 64, so it's what, 60 years old, 50, 60 years old. The biggest thing with these, the floor pans end up rusting out. So that is what's really hard. You can find these all day long on Facebook for $1,000, but the entire floor pan is gone. And they're repairable. There's all sorts of things. You can order the pans for them and tack them in and do all that. I really didn't want to get that deep into it, but this one does in fact have a little bit of damage. Just on this side, it's about just right there. You know, I don't know if you'd be able to see it underneath. Anyways, not a big issue. The car is mostly all here. The only thing I really have to do is go through it all, restore it, stop all, do a bunch of rust prevention in it, and find all the little trim pieces for it. Now, the guy I bought it from did give me a tote full of some of the trim, but not all of the trim. I have to find weather stripping for pretty much everything. Just all the little tiny little intricate stuff I got to go through and find. But yeah, I'm getting out of breath now. This is it. So like I said, I'm going to be starting the very first project with this car today. This was just going to be an introduction video of the Corvair. So I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to be sanding and blasting it.